Hello my Sushi Rolls, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how I draw a face from scratch. And the picture that I'm showing you guys now, I just did this a few minutes ago and I was just thinking about I'm just going to do a tutorial on teaching you guys how I draw a face from scratch. So I think that'll be pretty fun and I hope you guys enjoy and learn something from this video. Okay. Before I start, also, I think it'll be cool to see if the other picture that I draw from scratch will look similar to this or different, because every time I draw, either the eyes look different or the lips look different or the nose look different, because when you're drawing faces, it's all up to you, your imagination of how you want your face to look like, how big your nose is or the lips or the eyes, and how far apart you want them from each other. It's all up to your preference. So yeah, just wanted to mention that before I start this video. I think it'll be cool so we can compare this drawing to the drawing that I start from scratch on this next paper. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video, so let's get started. Okay, so before I start, I'm going to show you guys what I will be drawing with. And first I have this Papermate broken, old, torn up pencil, and this is in 0.7 millimeters. I usually prefer 0.5 because I like the smaller lid, but this is what I have today, so it's all good. And then I'm going to be using this Papermate 0.5 millimeter Pentel. This is not Pentel, I'm wrong, for an eraser. So yeah, I ran out of lead, so I would have been using this whole pencil for it, but it's all cool. And then lastly, I will be using this General's charcoal white pencil for highlights, because I want to do some shading afterwards so we can give some depth to the drawing. Okay, so before we start, you want to start with very light strokes, and we're going to start with a circle. That probably wasn't worded right, but yeah. When I begin, I like to start with a circle. Very lightly. Don't go too hard on it, because you don't want to make it so dark as to where you can't erase. So just make sure you're using very light pressure as you're making the circle. And use your arm, kind of locking your wrist to make a circle, so you can really get a nice, good circle. Okay. Sorry, that was down there. Alright, after I do the circle, I like to make a line in the middle. And then I'll make this kind of slight curve at the bottom to position the eyes. Okay, let me zoom in for you guys. And while you're drawing a face, think of the skull and how it has eye sockets, like the sockets that the eyeball goes in. That's what I like to think of when I start the basics of the face. So I usually make them a little bit bigger since I make my eyes bigger. But usually eye sockets on skulls are big anyways. So that works out. So these are my two eye sockets. And sometimes I like to position the nose right below where the circle ends right here, but I might change that position. And then I just start going into drawing the eyes. And now this step varies on your style preference or whatever. You can do whatever kind of eye you want. And I'm just starting out with the lid first. And if you need to, look at an eye reference and look at how it makes the shapes. Look at the shape of the eye and how it curves. That's what I like to think about when I'm drawing. And then I kind of go back over here and start making the tear duct. And for the bottom lid, there's always this little deep curve, kind of like this. I like to add, so you can really make it look a little bit closer to realistic. and then curve it right in here, because the eyeball back there is pushing out the skin, so it's going to make this curve at the bottom of it like that. And I'm only making it really dark now so you guys can see it, and because I'm used to doing this, so it's okay. And then I kind of go up like that. Okay. Alright, next, I know a lot of people have trouble positioning where to put the other eye on the other side. So just make a line right next to the tear duct. And then look at the width between the middle line and the tear duct line and make it the same as over here. I hope that made sense. So now both of these widths are the same in between each other. And now you can start making that other eye. But before you do that, for even more proportion check, make a line going across the face, starting from the top lid and the bottom lid. Well, we already have that line, but this will help you line that eye up even more. And then if you look at this space right here, you can make that same space over here, so you can get kind of close to the same curve. You see what I'm saying? So that'll really help you position it well. So just look at how this part is the same as over here. It's kind of like a grid. So it's really helping you to align. I hope you guys see what I'm talking about. You see how like this little space right here is the same? So that helps. I'm actually going to make my eye come out a little bit more over here. Just a little bit more. And then do the same for the bottom. I don't know where it cut off at. But yeah, like I said, we're making this the same as the other eye, making sure you have that curve. I'm hoping that this one turns out as good as the picture that I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. I wish I was recording when I drew that one. You see, I'm erasing. It's okay to erase sometimes. Alrighty, so now that we have that, now we can go in with drawing the iris, or whatever this part is. I'm going to erase some of these extra lines. Oops, wrong pencil. And now I'm just looking at it, checking to make sure if it's looking the same. And if it's not, it's okay. You can fix it. Okay? Alright. Okay. Alright, so now that we have that done, what I like to do next is just start drawing the rest of the eye. And I'm just making a circular motion, using this motion with my wrist, lightly making that circle, making the one over here. And also looking at how these match up, because that can look, because I noticed I've made that mistake before and that could look a little weird. So we're going to fix that. Try to get them on the same level. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Not everything has to be perfect. So my video camera keeps stopping everything. Okay, so now that I have those two circles in, I'm gonna go ahead and erase some of these lines so we don't have too much going on here. And then I want to draw the eyelids. Okay, just erase some of those guidelines so you guys can see it more. And the eyelids, I like to start closer to it, to the eyelid right here, like the, well, what is this? Like the, kind of like the flap, or, yeah. And I kind of like to start it close and then make this line over it like that to make it look like it's overlapping. And then like this. And sometimes I do it differently depending on how I'm feeling. But this is kind of how I would do it if I'm just drawing a regular face. Okay. And that is what I would do next. And now I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to do a little bit of a different positioning with the nose. You can always move it if you want to. I'm going to erase that a little bit. That line coming back here. I'm going to make the nose about right here. It can be wherever you want. Well, I wouldn't put it on the forehead or on the cheek or anything, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so for the nose, I'm sorry, I wasn't even explaining. I start out with this little oval circle, just kind of light like that. I'm kind of darkening up so you guys can see it. And then I like to kind of make like this little, for like the nostril shape, like this slightly curved line on both sides. And then I do the under part of the nose like this. I can't really explain it well, but sorry, it keeps cutting off. But yeah, I would just do the under part of the nose like this. And then I kind of start with a little bit of the shading so I can kind of get a better idea of the nose and how it's looking. So I kind of start off like this, like making this little shadow here, because that's what I notice on, you know, most noses in real life. It has like this little, forgive me guys, it keeps stopping. But yeah, so usually in real life I would notice how I see this shadow like right here, and I kind of like just start shading it. I can't really explain it. I'll do another tutorial on how I draw noses. I don't really have that many ways that I draw them, but that's just one of the ways that I go about it. Sometimes I'll even do a little under shadow, and that's how I would do the nose. I know it got really detailed really quick. Okay. Okay, so first we gotta get some eyebrows for this boo, and because you know we gotta have some eyebrows on fleek. And if you didn't see my how I draw an eye video, I will explain this technique, this little eyebrow technique. I explained this little eyebrow technique. I'll explain it to you now since this is the point of the tutorial. And I'm kind of like making this like little peanut shape kind of thingy, thinking about how in real life the face has like, it's kind of like coming out at you. You know what I'm saying? And then I would kind of follow along with the shape that I made, this little like weird figure 8 shape that I made, and just follow along with that for my eyebrows and make that arch boo. And then I start making these nice little flickies just so I can get that nice, you know, touch of hairs on there for that realistic look. And then I would make the top part of the eyebrow. And like this. Yep. And then I'm gonna go in and color this in. And then just do the same for the other one. And if you want to make sure they're aligned, you can just do a little line across from the other one, from the bottom of it to the other side. Just like that. that one came out a little bit darker than this one. Kind of wanted to keep it a little bit more realistic looking, so I'm gonna go back and just add those little strands. Like that, kind of like how I do my eyebrows in real life. But you know, you gotta have the eyebrows on fleek. Okay, so now that we have the eyebrows, and it's weird how I'm doing this, I know I'm putting in like all the details of the eyes and the nose and the eyebrows, and I haven't even finished drawing the face out yet, but that's just how I do it. I'm gonna go ahead and draw out the rest of her eyes by starting out with that eyeliner, kind of flicking it out right here. And then the same to the other side. And now this is all up to you. You can do this however you want. And then I draw some eyelashes in. Keep stopping. Okay, so yeah, I'm making those eyelashes. I'm making it a little thicker. Sometimes I like to make it a little thicker. Sometimes I like to make it, keep it thin. And yeah, you know, get them eyelashes on fleek, girl. Yes, boo. So yeah. Okay. And now for the mouth. What I like to do is draw a little oval circle thingy. Because it's not really an oval or a circle, so it's like an oval circle thingy. And it just looks like she's blowing bubble gum or something. I don't know. And that's how I like to help position the mouth. And then I like to keep it a little close to the nose, just so I can keep that cutesy dolly look. And I start out with the Cupid's bow, and that's this nice little slight curve like this. It could be deeper if you want it. And then I kind of go into the middle of the lips, make the shape there, and then kind of make it open or close however I want it. And then I would kind of make these lines to identify the outside of the mouth. And then I would make the bottom lip. And I like nice big juicy lips, you know. So yeah, I like to make that bottom lip go a little bit further down because I just like that dolly look. It's so cute. And there you have it, the lips. They're not finished yet, but that is what I would do. I like to make these little lines just to kind of indicate that it's connected, because sometimes I connect it, sometimes I don't, but most of the times I do not connect it. So that will be the lips. Okay, and now for the rest of what I said earlier, how I think about the skull. Okay, so think about the cheekbones. Cheekbones are kind of going to be like right here. Okay, so back to the cheekbones. So yeah, make sure you just have these. These really help when it comes to, you know, making the outside of the face. And what I have observed when drawing faces is that it kind of, when I start with the line outside of the eyebrow, kind of goes in. Since the skull, it sinks in here, so it's gonna kind of go in right there. And sometimes I have to change it up and go a little bit inside of where I made the cheekbone. But it just really helps with the positioning. And so that's what I'm gonna do over here. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring it in down here. And if you need some help with the aligning the chin, it's okay, because for me, I have to change it up a lot. You can make a line down here from where you want to stop the chin. Even make a little triangle kind of thing to help you position where the chin is going. I mean, where the rest of the face is going. but I wouldn't recommend following along with that line because I don't usually use that line. So I'm gonna just kind of trust my instinct on this one and just go slow, change it up if I need to, kind of make a slight curve to where the chin is about to go in, and then do the same to the other side. You might have to fix it up a little. It's okay if you make a mistake. One side might look a little different from the other. That's okay. And just fix it up. There you have that part of the face. Okay? I made it dark so you guys can see. But to be honest, I just do that anyway when I'm drawing. Okay, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and draw the rest of the head out because this really helps with positioning the hair. Actually, I don't even have to go ahead and do it because I already have that line from the circle that I made. So that's what we're going to use when we draw the hair, that guideline. I'm actually going to fix this part a little because I want her chin to go a little bit differently than that. Just a little bit inward. Just to make a little bit more of that curve. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so now that we have that, I kind of just go with whatever part that I want to next. So since we haven't finished the eyes yet, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just darkening up the outer part, the outer lining of the eye. I forgot there's a name for this, and I forgot what it's called. But I like to darken this part out so we can make those eyes pop a little bit more. And then when I'm ready to draw the pupil, I just make a nice little circle right in the middle. And do the same for the other. And then make some nice big highlights. And I like to add nice big highlights sometimes, probably since I used to love drawing anime a lot, so I kind of keep that, you know, the big highlight style in the drawing with me. And next I am making kind of like a gradient, starting off dark, and then as I go down, I'm making it lighter. So I'm applying less pressure as I'm going. So now I have like this gradient effect with the eye. You see? I'm gonna do the same for the other one. And I make sure this part is dark with it too, so she won't look so surprised. Like this part and this part are the same darkness. And then go ahead and fade it on out as you go down. Okay. Alright, so we have both of the eyes now. Then we can go ahead and do the ears. And now the ears usually start a little bit lower than the eye. So about here. About there. That's where I usually start my ears. And they can be as big as you want. Probably should have made them a little bigger, but it's all cool. So yeah, and then I go ahead and do those little details that I do for the ear, kind of just make these little shapes. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Okay, so then go in and add a few more details, some more details. Kind of like to make a little line under the eye too, to make it look a little bit more, you know, I don't know, different, but not really. And then start with some eyelashes, because you gotta have them eyelashes on fleek, girl. Okay. Now that we have that part done, I'll go ahead and draw in the neck. Make sure your neck isn't too big, too skinny. Remember, this is a female, so keep it nice and slender, not too big, because then she'll look like a man. Well, she'll have a man neck. You see this? And when I'm doing this, I kind of like to start the shoulder coming out from the side like that. Okay? Alright, now we're going to erase some of these guidelines so we can start with the shading and highlights and all that fun stuff. Okay. You really can start seeing things once you get rid of all the guidelines. I think I have some things crooked or something. I don't know what I did. I gotta fix some stuff. And then for the nose, I'd like to erase that top line. Okay. A little closer. Fix these lips a bit. Kind of darken up and thicken the liner. Give it more character. Give her more character. Actually, I'm gonna make it thin again. I'm kind of indecisive. We're gonna make it thin again. The glare is making it hard for me to see. Sorry about that. I should have just left it how it was. I'm always trying to change something. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm going to add some of the more detail to the tear duct. I'm going to connect the eye together like this. I don't usually do this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I'm going to just do it for this video since the other one was like that. I feel like her lips are lopsided. I don't know what I did. Okay. Now when it starts with the shading and everything, I like to hold on. This is like bothering me right here. Okay. Sorry if it looks weird. So what I like to do is kind of, because like when I notice a lot in real life pictures that there's like this little line right near the tear duct, and then that's where I would start shading. And this really helps a lot when you're drawing from reference, so you can get a good idea of how far the eyes are supposed to be from each other. Gosh, this is not looking as good as the first one I did. When I draw on camera, it's just not as good as it is off camera, but it's okay. I'm doing it for you guys. I like to start shading up here because I notice in real life that it goes up here and it's shaded. And I just basically start shading wherever I want to start shading at. And for the lips, I kind of just start here and there. I can't really explain it. This is all about looking at real life images and applying it to your art. Okay. And I actually went in. I'm gonna actually go in and start adding highlights, so then we can add our, darker tones and everything too. Like the way I do things, like the steps that I take, is just weird. Usually there's highlight at the tip of the nose, right here under the nostrils sometimes. And then on the sides of the nose, I always notice that there's like highlight there. And sometimes even under the nose a little bit. But not too much. I think I put a little too much there. And then on the bridge, can't forget that there's some there. On the cheeks, of course. Highlight on fleek. And it is definitely not going to be as out there as that looks. And then I add the whites of the eyes in, and that'll really make the eyes pop. And of course you go back in and fix all the dark areas when you're done. And then I always see a nice highlight like right in the corner of the eyes. I love putting highlight when I'm doing my makeup. I love putting the highlight in the corner of the eyes. Like, yes, like you gotta have that stopped. But yeah, on the chin that there's some highlight, and then some highlight on the lips, and on the top of the lips. And I just sometimes just start having fun and adding highlight where I want. And of course, you gotta have the highlight on the eyebrows, the brow bone, like under it. I didn't do this on the other picture, but there's a little bit of highlight for the forehead too going on. Okay, and now I'm gonna just go ahead and draw the hair in. When doing the hair, I like to think of it as in big sections instead of strands. Think of it as big sections. And also, from the head, it's not going to be sticking on the head. Like, the hair is not going to lay flat on the head. It's going to be, sticking out from it. So I'm going to make her some bangs like the original picture that I showed you guys and start from there. So I like to just do this little swoopy thing. Kind of just be free and flowing with it, like hair. I'll do another tutorial on how to draw hair later. I don't draw hair that much in different hairstyles as much as I should, but I can help with that. Just give her a short hairstyle since we're not doing all types of crazy stuff. And I'm just kind of, being free with it, making it flow. And this is going to be where her part starts, since that's where I started the bangs, right here. So her part will be right here. And remember that it's going to be coming off of the head a lot more than from where the skull would start, you know what I'm saying? Oops, that was wrong. So yeah, just kind of big sections. Remember, there's going to be some hairs kind of flying off from it. It's not just going to be stagnant. Okay? And I'm going to erase that part of her head now that I should have did that before, but I wanted to show you guys so you can keep that as a guideline as to where you should draw the hair. Okay? And when I did the other picture, after I did when I did the other picture, I actually started with the highlights. So that's what I'm going to do here. And then I'm just making like little strokes that kind of fade out. I actually put a little bit too much there. But just have fun with it. Don't think too much about it. There's going to be some here so you can indicate that's where the hair starts growing out from over here. It's over here, over here. And you'll learn more as you observe more. Learn more as you observe more. So that's what I did with the highlight. They're just like quick little, you know, we're not getting too detailed in here. This is just, you know, for a simple, nice little sketch. And then I go back in and just darken up the strands now. Kind of adding more darker details where I put the highlights. Like that. Have fun with it. And don't forget the highlights of the eyes. I almost forgot that and I was going to be really sad. That is so important. And then a little bit right there with the tear duct. The tear duct. I keep doing that. I don't know why. And back with the shading of the face. Make sure you shade the inside of the ear. Make sure you shade a little bit under the chin because I always notice a little bit of shading under there. And when you add highlights, you can always go back in, make things darker, you know, for contrast, or make things lighter. Add and subtract, add and subtract. And in art terms, meaning highlight and darken, or highlight and contour in makeup terms. Just go back in, darken things up a bit, add some more deets. I'm actually going to go in and darken the lips up a little bit more too, give some more depth. I'm going to put some highlight on her Cupid's bow here. So, you know, now that you've got all the basics down and the basics of where the things go, then you can add all the details. And also don't forget that neck shadow. Can't forget that neck shadow. Sometimes I just do it really like crazy like this and just keep it like that, or sometimes I just make it really neat, like over here. It depends on, you know, the feel of the drawing or whatnot. And then collarbone, like I love collarbones. That's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's down here. That's like my favorite body part, my collarbones. I know that's probably a little weird. Then shoulders. And yep, that's basically it, you guys. And you can just continue on adding highlights where you think you need them. And just have fun with it, basically. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and that this was able to help you all. And yeah, this is how I draw a face from scratch. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I know that there's going to be so many awesome and fun things coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna add some highlights in the eyes right there. Sorry, you guys, my camera's about to die. Then I'm like trying to like rush through this. But yeah, I hope this video was able to help you guys out. I'm gonna be in college this week, moving in this week, and it's kind of nerve-wracking. I'm excited, but I know it's gonna be a fun experience, so just pray for me and that it'll all go well, as I know that it will. Trust in God that it will. And yeah, so I'm excited. And oh yeah, also don't forget about shadows over here too, for like eyeshadow. Almost forgot about that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. So a little bit of eyeshadow right there. But yeah, these are just the basics. The shading wasn't really part of the tutorial. But yeah, I hope this helped you guys a lot. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. And before I go, I want to compare the picture that I showed you guys in the beginning of the video. If I can find it, let me find it. And we're gonna look and see how different they look. Wow. They look a little bit different. That's actually really cool. I like comparing the two different pictures with each other. That's cool. So yeah, you guys, these are the final images, the final result, how I draw faces from scratch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was able to help you guys, and thank you guys so much for watching. So see you guys next time, and God bless. Peace.